Hello everybody, welcome back to Transfer Deadline Day with your man Jim White here, and we are back with Leeds United's news. Great news stories happening at Ellen Road at the minute. Daniel James looks like he's heading to Ellen Road, so it's a great day for Leeds United. A poor one for Swansea City. Looks like Leroy Fer and Jefferson Montero are heading out the door. I can't do this for the whole thing. Hello everybody, welcome back to Ramaz's House down here. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. I've tried to do my best mock-up of smart gear really, but you know, can't really. It's just I don't have a yellow tie, so I'm off out later on anyway, so it kind of works anyway. So here we are guys, the deadline day of all deadline days. I'm going to undo my top button because I'm strangling myself. So what we're going to be going over in your sort of deadline day today, what me, Joe and Oscar are doing is we thought it'd be nice for the first time really. The channel's done really well at the minute, and we thought if we were able to sort of coax you guys through the transfer deadline day, it looks like a positive one for Leeds for the first time in about 15 years. So why not? The channel's doing well. You guys are engaging a lot, and what we're going to do is we're going to take you through the Leeds news. We're going to take you through the Championship news. And any rumours we hear as well, because we've got tiny little sources here and there who tell us sort of every now and again, me, Joe and Oscar, what's going on. It's probably a little bit of a privilege being part of All Leeds TV for that really, just because we managed to get a little bit more than maybe I would have done 6 months ago when I wasn't part of All Leeds TV. But anyway, back onto the topic. So the big topic of the day, Daniel James. Now, as it's looking at the minute, from what I've heard, there's a medical booked in. A lot of people are saying it's done. If we just search his name recently on Twitter, let's have a look at some of the latest news on him. But it looks like a lot of top journalists are saying that, you know, it's sort of going to the wire. We don't know what deal's going to be done. It's ever changing. There's a loan deal, there's a permanent deal. We're not 100% sure where it's going to be finalised, but at the end of the day, it looks like James wants the move, Leeds want the move, and it looks like Swansea's hand has kind of been forced from what I'm hearing. But all positive on that front. We're just hoping it can get done. Some people reporting that he was on his way to training this morning for Swansea, but other people reporting that he was in Leeds last night. So I think the latter would be more likely. I can't, unless there's pictures of it. I can't imagine. I cannot imagine he's in training. That would be bizarre. It's very unusual actually that Leeds have managed to sort of get this deal underway as well after what was happening with him playing the other night, having a really good game, arguably the best player on the pitch against Birmingham, which only bodes well for Leeds United. Recent articles, Leeds hopeful of sealing Daniel James' transfer from Swansea for $5 million plus add-ons. So that says a lot as well, but I'm hearing Phil Hay saying it could potentially be a loan as well. A couple of my sources as well saying it could potentially be a loan to a view to a potential transfer. And the reason behind that is because Swansea, how it works with the accounts is it's still registered as a transfer, and they'll still get the transfer benefits from this loan signing. But in the summer, if Leeds are potentially in the Premier League, which is very hopeful from Swansea's point of view as well, they could pay more in the long run. So that is something they're looking at. Lanson Sport, which is very close to the Swansea City's, obviously their sort of equivalent to YEP. Leeds continue to battle for Swansea's Daniel James as Bielsa holds over $5 million. So yeah, massive news at the minute with him. So let's have a look at what you guys are saying. Hey Conor, hello mate, hope you're all well. Gold, love it. Yeah, all right Conor. Tommy, morning all, morning. Hope you're all doing well. No yellow tie, disappointed. Yeah, I mean, who owns it? Does anyone else own a yellow tie? Am I just one in a million? Josh, I've heard a medical's booked in at 7. Yeah, from what I'm hearing, the medical is, a lot of journalists are saying it as well. Mirror journalists, Guardian journalists, it is sort of booked in. So we'll keep you guys updated. But it looks like, you know, Leeds are hopeful of sealing the transfer. Leeds just want it done for $5 million plus add-ons. I would potentially say that the add-ons would rise to potentially $10 million, which is a massive transfer for Leeds United. A massive transfer for a lad who's, maybe 4 or 5 months of proving himself. A massive transfer. So evidently Bielsa sees a hell of a lot in him, and it's some brilliant backing from Radrizzani, from the 49ers and Victor Orta, if they're able to get this over the sort of line, really, because, you know, Bielsa wants his man. I cannot imagine he's got many other targets. I think Daniel James will be the one, the only one as well. A 10, a lot of people are talking about a 10. I think if this goes to the wire, hopefully we'll get this done within the next couple of hours. It shags Oscar and Joe's content up, but hopefully we can get this done within the next couple of hours. If we manage to get it in the next couple of hours, could there potentially be another signing? Who knows? I mean, hearing a lot of things as well about Wolves. If they manage to get, I think it's get Traore out on loan, they could potentially be selling another winger as well, or another player within that department. I'm not sure who, but it's definitely one to look out for. What's going on at Wolves? We know Leeds have the link as well with Mendes. So yeah, we've got what have we got here. Okay, interesting. Okay, so we've got more recent news. Is Daffy Pritchard, Daff Pritchard, who is actually a Welsh journalist. I've looked at a couple of things before with him during the window. He just updated his Twitter as well. Daniel James told Swansea owners he wants to leave. His move to Leeds would initially be on loan, then permanent if Leeds are promoted. Loan fee of around 2 million, then a permanent transfer potentially worth more than 10 million with add-ons. Wow. Not sure about that one. What do you guys think to that? So Daniel James has told Swansea owners he wants to leave. His move to Leeds would initially be on loan. That's looking more likely. Then permanent if Leeds are promoted. Very interesting. So if Leeds are promoted, I mean, this is a Welsh journalist, a Welsh correspondent as well. So then permanent if Leeds are promoted. Loan fee of around 2 million. If it was a loan fee of around 2 million as well, that would sort of help Swansea in the short term as well. Potentially they might not be selling Leroy Fer as well after his injury. So they do need the money. So if Leeds were to initially give them 2 million as part of a loan, then permanent if Leeds are promoted, I think the most important thing is just getting him through the door. It would be nice, in my opinion, to see a transfer. What I mean by that is a permanent transfer. I would like to see that because I think it's a statement of intent from Leeds as well. And it just looks at the minute that Swansea are playing hardball. And then a permanent transfer worth more than 10 million with add-ons. So, I mean, that's a lot. That's a hell of a lot of money. I mean, it's all coming through now. Leeds United could end up paying just 1 million for Daniel James. So he would still be a Swansea player at the end of the day. But, you know, we've seen it before when there's permanent loan to permanence. Leeds have managed to get it done. I'll read through some of your comments. So 1 million loan till the end of the season, then 10 million to buy. Andy Saxton has said Swansea looks around the verge of collapse. Other players looking to leave. Looking good today, Liam. Cheers, mate. Sometimes make an effort. Michael Zanetti, hi team. Russ Vernon. Any other deals coming in? You're hearing, Conor? I think rumour mills. I'd keep an eye on Wolves. And the only reason I mention Wolves is because, as I've just said, if you just joined, one of their wingers, I think Traore, is going out on loan, and Wolves are willing to do deals on some of the attacking players they've got. So I'm not 100% sure if that's a goer, but it's definitely one to keep an eye on. There's nothing done there. I think the James deal is the only one Leeds are looking at the minute. But obviously the Mendes and Orta link, that's definitely one to look at. It's just something I've been told this morning, but who knows? Good deal. Andy Saxon, get the feeling Swansea are pushing their luck to stabilise their sinking ship. Yeah, Foster, 100%. I mean, if they're able to get this 2 million under, they manage to do it, that's very good for Swansea because it sort of papers over the cracks with them with a financial fair play as well. I think they've got loan debts to pay back as well. So it's one of those things that I think it'd be a good deal if Leeds will manage to sort of a good deal for Leeds, I guess, because we get the player over the line. I would like to see a transfer, a permanent transfer, but at the end of the day, you know, if that's all that can be done, and we get the player in, then that's that, isn't it? Rolo, watching in physics. Yes, man. Watching in physics. Brilliant. Um, Hope you got that phone just under the desk like that. I used to be an absolute shit in physics, so I'd have done the same, mate. Stephen Horseman, David S. Journo, David Smith's also a little bit of a tip as well for you guys. If you go and follow him, I probably shouldn't plug him, but from my understanding, he is a journalist behind a name. A lot of people are saying he's a fake journo. I get that, but gets a lot of things right. So normally what people do is they profile. So a journalist will go behind the scenes, put a fake profile up, they'll be behind the scenes. The reason they'll do it is so they can't get in trouble. So yeah, Leeds deal now done for James. Player booked in for medical, LUFC Leeds United. It's normally around this time as well, you see Phil going a little bit quiet. And the reason behind that is because probably he's bombarded with documents and bombarded with sort of getting the story out and stuff like that. So if you see Phil going a little bit quiet, that's normally a good sign as well. David Waring, watching from Australia. We are ahead of your time. Quick advice, we beat Norwich 2-0. Brilliant, well yeah, that'll be great. It's splitting hairs, but Swansea need this to happen ever so slightly more than us. Yeah, I mean, we're not desperate, I guess, but it'd be excellent for us to get a signing done, 100%. I mean, I think we need the signing for the latter half of the season, especially if Izzy and Paddy aren't back for a couple of weeks. Obviously, we've seen Paddy in training this week. I'm not 100% sure what that means. Does that mean he'll hit the bench? Let's hope so. Liam, need to get him on board and evaluate him over the coming months before spending huge cash. Yeah, Liam, there's a lot of logic to it. I mean, obviously we get him under. If we manage to sign the kid, then we can also evaluate what he's like if he manages to hit the ground running at Leeds instead of spending. I think that's probably one of the wary things with Leeds as well, with spending such huge amounts of money on such a youngster. He's had 4 months, definitely got potential, but he's had 4 months within sort of the Swansea squad. As I've said, only 21. So it's one of those where is a loan a better deal for Leeds because we get to see what he's like, and then in the summer if we get to the Premier League, it's interesting on that journalist's post though, if we get to the Premier League, because let's be right guys, I mean if the deal is in place for Leeds to then sign 10 million with add-ons included, Leeds aren't going to be doing that deal for me if we're still in the Championship. So it's very interesting. It seems like James for the first part, and if we get to the Premier League he signs, if we don't he doesn't sign. So it's dependent on whether or not you think that is a good deal. If Swansea think James is that much, how much is Clark worth? To be honest, mate, I think at the minute, Josh, I think James is a little bit ahead of Clark. He's older. I think he's got more facets to his game. I think in the past 2 or 3 games we've seen Clark struggle, but he's only young. He's got a lot of development to go. So at the minute, I'd actually say old James is probably a better player at the minute than Clark. But yeah, exactly. I mean, Clark, I can't imagine how much he'd go for. Could James also play as a number 10? That's where he got his goal against Birmingham. He can play a number 10. Joe Wainman, where's the tie, brother? Already explained at the start, mate. Love the jumper, mine. Sexy bugger. Cheers, mate. What else have we got? What else have we got? He doesn't look all that good. People are ruthless on this, aren't they? Doesn't look all that good. Dave, let's get a picture of you on the chat, mate. Let's see how you look. You haven't got a profile picture, and people like that, bit shifty, because you say other people don't look good. Look at Wainman. Wainman's got a profile picture. You know exactly what he looks like. Be brave. Get a picture of yourself on, mate. Madison from Peacock Creative AM. A few rumours appearing lately. You think James will be on the bench Saturday? I don't, Matthew. I think it'll be way too soon. Adam Chadwick, just seeing on Twitter, Fede Valverde from Real Madrid on loan. You heard anything, or someone just started rumours? Just said rumours from that, mate. There's nothing concrete in that, I don't think. Cedric and Gardsay, any Arsenal news, mate? I'm not sure, mate. This is a Leeds channel. I can update you if something happens or if I hear anything, but I'm not really clued up on Arsenal news, mate. Jaggy Babs, yeah, you're not getting me with that, mate. That name and that signing from Luton, you're not getting me on that. Morning, Conor, mate. I bet the deal will also include James can't play against them at Ellen Road with him basically still a Swansea player. Yeah, interesting that, Michael. Yeah, if we get him on loan as well, there's a stipulation there, isn't there? I mean, if we if we get him on loan, then there could be something in his contract which states he doesn't play, and that's a really good point actually, because Swansea home will be a massive game, especially if it's nip and tuck at the minute like it is at the top of the division with us, Sheffield United, West Brom and Norwich. If he isn't playing in that game, I mean, there could be potential at a really, really quality player there, and he's sort of getting momentum in. And then for the Swansea game, he's not allowed to play, which would be pretty damning actually. Hopefully Leeds would sort that out within the contract. That's a really, really good point. It's a really, really decent point with regards to sort of the stipulation in his contract. I would say, as I've just said, hopefully Leeds will sort that, and that's kind of why I want the transfer done. But it doesn't look like Swansea want 5 million plus add-ons. I do have to say, for how good he looks, he's a Welsh international. He'll be playing within the Welsh side week in, week out, won't he? And then probably the next coming years as well. He's going to be a quality player. So, you know, his 5 million plus add-ons a little bit of it's a bad deal sort of for Swansea. I'd say it is. I mean, I think it's ridiculous to actually letting him go, but they need to let him go. I think him and Conor Roberts for Swansea the future. You get rid of Fair, you get rid of Montero, you get rid of Bonny, and you sort of circulate their future around those two lads. You know, Selena as well in the 10, if they can manage to get him over the line with a permanent transfer. I think it's a bad mistake letting him go. And for 5 million plus add-ons, if I was Swansea, would I let him go? Nope. But at the end of the day, they need the money. But this loan thing, they're getting the money over the line. They're still getting potentially 2.5 million. So it's interesting, isn't it? LUFC Fan Zone, afternoon, Conor. Hello, mate. Also, yeah, I need to mention that. If you haven't, make sure you get along. I'm using my phone now, mate, and I've got the case on my phone. I've got a really brilliant Mark Viduka case, which was sent through from LUFC Fan Zone. Really, really good stuff. I think he's got a Bielsa one, which has just been created. I've seen a lot of my mates have been buying that from LUFC Fan Zone, so make sure you check that out. Some really cool phone cases on there, really sturdy as well, so make sure you check that one out. Weren't there Ollie McBurney rumours at some point? There was Ollie McBurney rumours. It was last season before Barnsley were going to get him. We managed to get him, so yeah, we did manage to get him. Barnsley managed to get him, so, but he's a bit of I don't think he'd fit the Bielsa mould anyway. So let's see what's going on Twitter anyway. Swansea blog, it appears Daniel James has asked the Swans to allow him to move to Leeds. Yeah, so I mean, it seems to be on all fronts really at the minute. Just checking back on my Twitter feed, that's a good indication. I'm also going to bring you guys some Championship news in a bit. So I like to talk about the Championship news as well. So we'll make sure I keep that out, get that out soon. Interestingly, with the players around us as well, let's have a look at the players and the teams around us. Let's have a look what's going on. So, in the last 5 minutes, in fact, we'll do the last half an hour. So, yeah, Scott Hogan as well, guys, has joined Sheffield United. Now, what do we say about that? I mean, that's a good deal, I think, for Sheffield United, and it adds to their quality up front. It's a really good signing for me that, Scott Hogan goes to Sheffield United. If he can build his confidence up, Chris Wilder's an excellent manager for me. So if they manage to get Scott Hogan to what he was doing at Brentford, scoring for fun, and what he was doing at the early part of Villa, that's a really, really good signing. Peter Crouch on the verge of a move to Burnley. Interesting, weird signing. 38 years of age. We've seen that loads this window, haven't we, with the likes of bloody Ashley Cole. Rudiger Stead rejects Millwall loan move. That would have been a good signing as well. What else have we got here? Also, Tyrone Mings moves to Villa. I reported that a couple of days ago, actually, just chatting about it and talking about what we think about that, this, that, and the other. And I think it's a good sign. I think it's a really good sign. He's versatile, can play along that back line. For Ipswich as well, he played defensive midfield. Really, really good signing, I think, for Ipswich when they got him initially. And I think he's a brilliant signing for any club. I think he was hampered by injuries at Bournemouth, and that's, they sort of bought cover as well. So I think Mings was sort of featured out really, but I think that's a really good move. I think that's a loan move as well. So that's an interesting one with Gusted though, rejecting a Millwall move. What else have we got here? Villa are also looking at Isaac Hayden from Newcastle. I think that's been knocked back as well. I think Newcastle want to keep him. We also played against Man City, so that's a big indication. But obviously we saw Daniel James play against Birmingham, didn't we? It looks like we're managing to get that one over the line. Yeah, Scott Hogan completes the... that's a really good one. Swedish international defender undergo medical at Nottingham Forest. What have we got here? Alexander Milosevic. Never heard of this guy. Interesting to know if Pontus rates him. He's a free agent. Played for Besiktas and Hanover before returning to AIK last year. Has 5 caps for the Sweden international team. There you go. So Forest bringing in a Sweden centre half. They've seen the blueprint. They've seen how good it is. Yeah, I love that headline. Last 5 minutes, Swansea City set for an abysmal deadline day ahead of Bristol City game. I mean, it looks like as well Leroy Fer and Montero are on the way out, which would just be an absolute awful day, wouldn't it? As well as Daniel James. Hassan Hootel off for Shea Adams as well. I think 15 million is what Birmingham want. I'm not 100% sure if they'll get that, but I think... apparently Middlesbrough are looking at him as well. Shea Adams is a quality player. I thought he was brilliant at Ellen Road. Very, very good. What else have we got on the most read? Yeah, that's probably it at the minute, guys. So what else have we got on the deadline day on the BBC Sport? Wolves complete the permanent signing of on loan Johnny Otto from Atletico Madrid for 15 million. Yeah, that was the reason Douglas was sent out, wasn't it? Yeah, obviously the Tyrone Mings, he's got a medical there. So Charlie Austin could leave Southampton if a replacement can be signed, and you're looking at that replacement being Shea Adams, which is interesting to be damning for one of my good pals, Brummy Joe. Wow, as well, Swansea City winger Jefferson Montero is in line for a deadline day move to West Bromwich Albion. Wow. That's big news. That is big news. When was that broken? So that was broken 20 minutes ago. Wow, I mean, that's a brilliant signing for West Brom. I love Montero. I think him and James on either side, it was sort of like Sterling and Sane. What a player to have it. And that's not who we want at West Brom. Bastards. That is not who we want there. I was thinking apparently Hanover are interested, Hamburg were interested. This guy's a top player. Montero's got experience in the Premier League. That's a really good signing if they get that one over the line. That's a very good signing. Swansea in free fall. Yeah. What else have we got? What else have we got between your guys? Comments out. Any news on new signings, mate? No, mate. Just we've got at the minute. I think we're looking at James and potentially one bit later on. Joe will have to educate you with that one later on. Old Gardner guy, Finland. The deal would see Leeds pay just 1 million to take James until the end of the season, with an added 9 million should they wish to make the move permanent. Yeah, it's a smart move, guys. It's definitely a smart move. I'd like to make him a permanent signing. It's for one of the reasons that the gentleman mentioned earlier. It's just for the fact that Swansea will obviously be able to potentially put a clause in his contract that he won't be able to play against them. I think every home game against every big team is massive for Leeds this season. I think someone like James would be a key feature. So hopefully Leeds will sort that. They'll iron out that stipulation. I think it'd be nice to see Leeds have a proper transfer in January for the first time in years. We've obviously got Casilla, but we've just sort of paid out the end part of his contract. So that'd be excellent. That'd be really good. But once again, I understand the fact that if Leeds were to make it a loan signing, then we'd be able to see what he's about and then make it permanent. It's interesting to see as well. It's if we get to the Premier League. Oliver King, Forest going after Bonatini. Jesus Christ! Wow. So that when you got somewhat that Graben and Bonatini, I mean, there's going to be a late surge there, isn't there, by Forest? 100%. Yeah, I mean, that'd be a brilliant signing. I love Bonatini. I think Bonatini's on par with Raul Jimenez, to be honest, and he is a top-class striker in this division. We talk about top class. He really is. Derby County Fan TV, good show, mate. Do you think Leeds can maintain their position? I do, mate. I really do. But I think it's all about who we get back. I think it's who we get back and who we get in. I think James, or James, as I will start calling him, if he comes in, it's a massive, massive signing. I mean, he gives a lot of balance to the side. You've got Douglas, Ayling, James, and Clark on either wing. I can't think any team would want to face that. And Leeds, we've got so much going through the middle as well with Cleek and Hernandez. Forshaw as well. Phillips, we've got a decent defence when everyone's fit. So, and a quality keeper, a world-class keeper as well, according to Guillem Balag. So it's one of those where you look at the squad and you think, yes, potentially Izzy Brown coming back, Bamford coming into the fold, potentially this weekend as well. So we've got the depth as well. It's all just about keeping everyone fit for me, mate. We've got a lot of games to go. I don't want people getting ahead of themselves. We've got a lot of games to go, 17 games, a hell of a lot of games. I think Leeds probably need about 33 points, and that'll take us to 85 to 90 points. So it's sort of 33 out of 51 points, so we can definitely achieve it. It's definitely achievable. We've just got to make sure we keep on going, and we're in a little bit of a rut at the minute. Obviously, we've got the Rotherham win, got the Derby win, but aside from that, we've been in a pretty poor run of form, really, post-Christmas. So we need to. Do I think we're going to go up? I do currently, but it all depends. There's so many varying factors, mate. I do think we'll go up, but I'm more on the edge at the minute. Wainman's certain. I think me and Oscar at the minute are just teetering on the edge. I'm not still 100% sure. Shane Shanks, do we need another striker? I don't think so, Shane. I think the reason behind that is because we've got Bamford coming back, and we talk about class strikes in this division. I would say Roof's just maybe tier 2. He's done brilliantly this season, but I don't think his finishing is on the level of Gale, Pukki, Bonatini, let's say. But I think that my main point is I think Bamford is that level. And we get a fully fit Patrick Bamford for the latter half of the season. You forget what he did for Borough last season, 9 goals in 12 games from January onwards. So if we get Bamford back, we get him featuring alongside Roof, we rotate, then I think we're going to get a really, really good a striker there. No mention of that Polish lad we just signed, Andrew. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Bogus. Apparently, it's interesting. I mean, Gary was talking about on the Talking Shut podcast. If you haven't checked that out, we went on there the other day. Make sure you check that out. Gary mentioned it. He was saying that in the bottom half of the contract of the thing of the article that was posted on LeedsUnited.com, it was saying that apparently he's initially training with the under-23s initially. So for me, if we don't get a 10 in for the last part of today, then I think Bogus, you're going to see him featuring quite heavily for the first team, maybe later on in the season, especially if you're getting the likes of Izzy Brown, who maybe, hopefully, touch wood, he doesn't, but sort of gets injured again or doesn't feature for the latter parts this season. Richard Barnaby, I would be happy if we only got Kiko and James. Don't want to spoil the chemistry. Yeah, I get that. Completely get that. I mean, we're going on very nicely at the minute, aren't we? Big if West Brom get Montero and Murphy. Yeah, exactly. I do think that's a right signing if West Brom get him. I think it's a brilliant signing. Doran Tor, great signing for Forest. Yeah, agree. I think it's a brilliant sign. Doran Tor again. Will Forest make late push for playoffs? I do think so, especially if you're going to get someone like Bonatini. And Jesus Christ, I mean, that is depth, him and Graben. I'd have put Graben in that top class striker bracket as well in this division. 100%, it's a right signing if they manage to get him. Shane LUFC, thanks for the video. Driving to Grimsby at the moment, working. I put BBC Radio West Yorkshire Sport Daily on from last night, and it was Huddersfield. So you've saved my drive. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It goes between Leeds and Huddersfield, mostly Huddersfield at the minute, which is damning. But when they're down in the Championship and we're in the Prem, it'll turn around, mate. Rumours are circulating on Twitter that Leeds are reportedly interested in signing Valverde. Yeah, I've seen that as well. United fan here. Interested to know what's happening in the Championship. Yeah, let's get back to that. Let's get back to the Championship. What's going on in the Championship, everybody? Let's have a look. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of go on the last sort of 10-15 minutes, really, what's going on, because there's so many articles here on this website I read up on. Cardiff hold talks with Reading's Leandro Bacuna ahead of transfer day deadline. Now, he is a player who I rate highly, Leandro Bacuna, and the reason behind that is because when he played Leeds, he was fantastic. I thought he was the best player on the pitch. We beat them 1-0. Reading made it difficult for us. I thought Leeds managed to get it over the edge, and that's signs of promotion. It's a team of champions, isn't it? When we manage to get those things sort of over the line, and we managed to get wins like that over the line. But I thought he was brilliant, strong, athletic, physical, and very good on the ball as well. So that's better for the Championship. We've still got Reading to play, but I thought he was brilliant in that middle of the park. Obviously, Reading managing to get Nelson Oliveira in as well. Good signing. Very good signing indeed. What else have we got here? Nottingham Forest determined to fend off any interest in Ben Osborne. Yeah, Osborne, really good player. Seems to be coming off the bench a lot as well for Forest. I mean, he did against us. I don't know if that's a coherent thing for Forest. I don't know if he's doing that week in, week out. But, when he came off against us, albeit we had 10 men, and Leeds United sides just decided to put, 11 in the offensive zone, so Forest had so much space. But, that'd be a decent signing for anyone, Ben Osborne. Nottingham Forest reportedly eyeing Matej Vidra as deadline edges closer. What's going on then with Forest? Forest, has something happened to Graben? Is Graben injured? I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. I mean, Forest just looking to boost their attack. Do you think we'll sign anyone else, Conor, mate? No, I don't, mate. I think it's all the eggs are in one basket with Daniel James. So we'll have to see how that sort of that edges really. What else have we got here? Norwich City confirmed Philip Heiser deal 6 months earlier than planned. Let's have a look at this, just in time for their game against Leeds United. Philip Heiser, I think he's a centre-half, if my knowledge is on point from what I've heard. Joins from Dynamo Dresden, which is supposed to be a modest 6-figure fee. Used to bring the left-sided player to the Canaries, so he's left-sided. Heiser had already agreed to join City in the summer. So there's a Mönchengladbach product. So there you go. Norwich with their first signing, I believe. And is that another German counterpart? I think it is. It's another German to put alongside the likes of Zimmerman, and I think they've got a couple of others as well. I'm not sure if Stiepermann's German. I think he could be. So another signing there for Norwich City. Say another sign, I think it's the first signing. The reason I say another is because in the summer they brought in so many. New team emerges in the race to sign Shea Adams from Birmingham City. Let's have a look at this. I'm a big fan of Shea Adams if you just joined. So who's the new team in for him? Fulham. Yeah, okay. Ed Aarons of The Guardian has reported that Fulham are in for... I think it's going to be great. I hope they keep hold of him, but obviously financial fair play dictates Birmingham are in a little bit of trouble, I believe, from what I'm hearing. So I think, they've got, they've let players go for fair deals as well so far. So hopefully I like Birmingham, so hopefully they'll get over the line. But, Shea Adams, if they manage to get 15 million for him, it's a good move, isn't it? I think for both parties. Isaac Vassell would come in. Isaac Vassell, as Brummy Joe, my YouTube mate, has said, he's very similar to Shea Adams, so if they can blood him in when Shea Adams goes, I think it'll be a shrewd move for Brum to get 15 mil for him. Guys, there's 191 of you watching right now, which is madness. I can't imagine how many Joe's going to get tonight for the when you're all back from work and stuff like that. If you wouldn't mind giving a like on the video, that'd be much appreciated. There's 190 of you watching. There's only 20 of you have liked it, so if you do that, that'd be great. Do you think Bristol City can finish top 6? I personally, I don't, mate. Sorry if you're a Bristol City fan. I don't think you've got enough in the tank. Consistency is key in the Championship, and I guess it's ironic at the minute being a Leeds fan, because obviously we haven't managed that at the minute. But at the end of the day, Norwich haven't managed that either. I think there's always going to be a little bit of differentials in the Championship. I think Bristol City, I'm not sure they've got the quality there to break into the top six. I think the likes of Hull as well, Villa on the periphery, Birmingham even. I'd say those three at the minute are probably stronger. Not at the minute. It's hard to say because Bristol City, the consistency is brilliant, but I don't think you've been properly tested yet. I think when you get tested and you overcome that, then yeah, top six is definitely on for you. But I just think there's too many good teams around the edge, the periphery of that top six. What else have we got? Right, what else have we got on Twitter? Let's have a look. Okay. Swansea's Daniel James is close to joining Leeds on an initial loan deal. It looks like that's going to be the case, guys, doesn't it? So, yeah, prepare for that. Looks like we're going to get him on loan. BBC article has just been released. Daniel James' move to Leeds United would initially be on loan until the end of the season, with an obligation to make the move permanent if Leeds are promoted to the Premier League. So obviously that Welsh journalist I read out about half an hour ago is probably right. The loan fee would be around 12 million, while the permanent transfer fee could be worth more than 10 million, including add-ons. If Leeds miss out on promotion, Swansea would hope to keep James at the Liberty Stadium and offer him a new contract. I don't know about that. What do you think about that? I don't know, because obviously all our hopes are on promotion, but let's say Bielsa stays next season, touch wood, but Leeds don't get promoted, you know, we're obviously going to be going for it in the second season. James would be an excellent signing, so I'm hoping by that point Swansea's financial state isn't a little bit better, and then they can afford to get him on a new contract. But you'd hope Leeds would get that one. You'd hope Leeds would get that one over the line, wouldn't you? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a good deal. I guess it's a good deal. But yeah, Oliver King, what if he does great and we don't go up? That's sort of the edge I'm slanting on, really. What if he's absolutely brilliant for us? And touch wood, we do. But, you know, we sort of fall into the playoffs. And as Daniel Chapman says on the Square Ball, we we play someone like Middlesbrough and Derby in the final and lose. Yeah, something like that. But hopefully, you know, we've got, I think, all our eggs are in one basket for this season anyway, aren't they? We've brought in Bielsa, we've brought in Casilla. So I think promotion is the key for this season. So as long as we get him over the line, then yeah, that's massive. So let's just have a look. I've been told that apparently Pope has tweeted something about the transfer. Okay. Yeah, as I've just read out, if Leeds miss out on promotion and Adam Pope, Swansea would hope to keep James and offer him a new contract. The 21-year-old winger has told Swansea's owners that he wants to leave. Yeah, I guess it is a good deal all round. I guess Swansea, it's a good deal. It's better than them losing him. And Leeds, it's a good deal because we get him for 6 months to a permanent potentially. I don't know. I guess I'd have just preferred the signing. I guess just to get, you know, I mean, as I've said a million times, does this mean he won't be able to play against us? That's interesting. Deal still awaiting the go-ahead. Does look like it'll be a loan with view to purchase in the PL if it goes ahead. Swansea know that James wants to leave. Yeah, so that's Phil Hay. So there you go, guys. Looks like that is how it's sort of been going, really. Tash, if we get him on loan, we'll have more money for a striker. Potentially, yeah. Guess so. David Brooks, Conor, what's your score prediction for Saturday? My score prediction for Saturday. You'll hear it in my preview, mate. You'll hear it in my preview. Previews are out tomorrow, guys. So make sure you keep online for that one. Yeah, previews out tomorrow. I've got a very special guest as well. Middlesbrough in, Rajiv Van La Parra, Huddersfield loan, John Obi Mikel. Yeah, did anyone realise John Obi Mikel is 31? I thought he was about 42. Yeah, yeah, guys, if you see any updates as well, make sure you whack it in the chat. Shane Shanks, 204 people watching. Yeah, I mean, what time are we on as well? At 20 past 12. I mean, peak time, guys, just so you know, on YouTube, it's between 5 and 8 o'clock. And this just shows how massive we are as a club. Huge club. You know, say you're all tuning in. You're probably all at work as well. It's excellent. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and look at all the deals done so far in the Championship. And we're going to just have a little bit of a talk about some of the big ones. So I just want to, you know, kind of go over that really, because potentially. So who should we look at first? Let's look at. So we sort of want to talk about the top 8 teams, in my opinion. So for that, we're going to go for Villa first of all. I think Villa will finish in the top 6. So yeah, we've got Mings set for Villa loan, which we've already spoken about. Scott Hogan has got Sheffield United. Apparently, Aston Villa wants Chalobah and Hayden on loan as well, which is wow. I mean, Sky Sports News understands that they've gone for Nathaniel Chalobah and Isaac Hayden, so they're clearly making moves. They're not happy with the squad at the minute. I think they definitely miss Jack Grealish. I don't think you'll ever get anyone to sort of replace Jack Grealish. I think he's that good. And they've also made an offer for Ben Gibson. So Villa looking to make moves really in this half of the window. Expect to see a hell of a lot of movement from Villa there. So that's very interesting. Who else are we going to look at? Let's have a look at Birmingham as well. Let's have a look at Birmingham. Birmingham 8th in the division. Saints make Adams' approach to Blues. It looks like Southampton are the main ones really, aren't they? To go in for Shea. I think they've come in for him a couple of times as well. It looks like the valuation on Shea Adams is about 15 mil. I think it'd be good for Birmingham. I think that would be really good for the Blues. Up the Blues. What else have we got? Hull. So look at Hull. I can't imagine there's many dealings going on at Hull. Although, yeah, a really good signing that they brought in, which I was very surprised at, was Mark Pugh from Bournemouth. I thought it was a brilliant signing. Real industrial player, can get forward, box to box. I really don't think Hull are going to be far away. I really don't. Aside from the 3-0 thumping by Blackburn, who are also doing very, very well, let's bear in mind. You know, very good side in this division, Blackburn. You know, they've pulled some scalps this season. They're going to be there or thereabouts. I think they might just miss out. But Hull, for me, I think Hull will make the top 6. I do. I think they've got the quality in the squad. I still think they've got Premier League players in there. And add in with people like Mark Pugh, who I would have loved at Leeds. Box to box, can pass the ball. Leeds were in for him, I think, 2 or 3 years ago, but they didn't manage to get it over the line. But yeah, really good signing that. It's probably one of the best ones actually I've seen so far. Completely forgot about that. Who else have we got? So let's have a look at Blackburn. I'll use him. Hold on, guys. Just gonna make my. It's gonna. Yep. Sorry, guys. Was just sorting my data out because it was some bizarre reason. It kept freezing. So. That can't be right. So Blackburn Rovers transfer news: Assombalonga wanted by Blackburn. What? That's got to be in case Borough brings someone in. Surely that's got to be. I mean, you can't imagine that. So apparently Blackburn very interested. Tony Mowbray's looking to strengthen his attacking options, but he's believed any possible deal may be difficult to do. Assombalonga's fallen out of favour at Borough in recent months. Just 3 of their last 13 games. I didn't realise that. It is believed Borough would be open to a deal, but they want the 13 million back. So let's be right, that's not going to happen, is it, guys? It's not going to happen. Let's have a look at some others. Let's read some of your comments. Seppi, that Pele is actually supposed to be decent from Monaco. He's a defensive midfielder. I think that's reference to signings that have been made by Forest. Seppi, legit, I'm watching at my desk. Everyone is out at lunch. Jasper Burns, can't Leeds sign you, Conor? Yeah, get me in. Get me in. Reason being is, you know, if I was to get in that Leeds side, you'd just have so much passion, wouldn't you? You'd be absolutely up for every single game. I did play for Leeds till I was 12. There's a little spoiler for you. Well, till I was 12 years old, I was playing for Leeds. But yeah, didn't manage to get over the line. Adam Chadwick, do you reckon we'll get another "don't go to bed just yet" tweets? Yeah, I'm going to get back to the teams who brought players in, by the way. Derby fans, who's your top 6 prediction? And I've been asked that a couple of times. My top 6, oh God. Top 2. A lot of you aren't going to like this, but I'm real. I'm so real. I'll tell you, I don't sugarcoat it, and this is exactly what I think. I think top 2. I think Norwich will win it. I think Leeds will scrape in it. Sheffield United 3rd. West Brom 4th. Borough 5th. And Hull 6th. I think Villa, Birmingham, Blackburn, Derby might slip out. Anyway, Seppi, Conor's favourite Leeds United player ever. Conor's favourite Leeds United player is Mark Viduka, mate. Absolutely love the guy. So, Ryan Cunningham, do you know anything about Belberde coming to Leeds on loan? I don't, mate. I'll be brutally honest with you. But I think what they're trying to do at the minute is obviously the deal with Daniel James. But I think Leeds are focusing highly on that. You saw that with Casilla, because they didn't even look at the James deal until Casilla was done. So if that deal is done by 5 p.m. or something like that, Leeds 100% could move him to someone like Belberde. He's a very, very good player. Brilliant all-round midfielder, and he wants the ball all the time. He's that Bielsa sort of player where instead of waiting for the ball, what Leeds are taught to do is come onto the ball. So that's what we are. That's the rhetoric at Leeds. We have to get onto the ball, move the ball quick, and he is that sort of player. So yeah, I mean, he'd fit the profile at Leeds. So yeah, that'd be an excellent signing, wouldn't it? Obviously, that'd be 2 players from Madrid in one window. So we'd have to see on that one, mate. I mean, yeah, once again, it's just rumours at the minute. You got to bear in mind that everything on deadline day, that's why it's brilliant. But everyone just talks shit on deadline day. It's to create clicks, create rumours, create this, that, and the other. So at the minute, I would say just keep your eye on James and potentially something a little bit later on. But at the minute, I wouldn't say so. Let's have a look. FM Mickwell, what does James bring? I'll tell you what he brings, mate. He's Ben Thomason, no yellow tie. No, mate, don't have a yellow tie. I need to get one, really. What does James bring, or James? From what I've seen of him, I watched the Birmingham game the other night when I got back from the Talking Shut podcast. I think Oscar did as well. I watched it again. I just wanted to see sort of the player that we could potentially be getting. He's quick, he's versatile, he can play just behind the striker, creative, pragmatic and dynamic on the ball, gets forward very, very quickly, he's nippy, he's got a low centre of gravity, can score goals, can get assists as well. If McBurney could finish, he'd be on double figures this season for assists. His final third potentially does need to improve a little bit. There was a couple of times where you think, he's got to improve that, but he's a very, very good player, and sort of ambidextrous as well, can use both feet, left wing, right wing, and also number 10. So he's ultimately perfect. Liam, Leeds, West Brom, Norwich, Villa, Sheffield, Derby. Yeah, who do you guys think is going to finish in the top 6? Let me know. Caitlin de Klerk, what's happening with Cabano? If you're referring to Cabano coming to Leeds, I don't think there's much happening there. I think Leeds are all guns blazing for Daniel James. Conor, he's not quick, he's lightning. He really is. He's so quick. Let's have a look at some more championship news for you guys. So we've got to Blackburn last. So I'm just going to go on, as I've said, the people who I think are in the top 8 are going to be around that area. So we're going to go on Middlesbrough now. Barnsley make a bid for Borough striker Miller. I've never heard of Miller, so we'll move that on. Leadbitter also returned to Sunderland. I think he was about their 9th choice striker. Stoke close in on Danny Bath deal. Danny Bath, who follows everyone on Talking Shut. Well, it might have just been Binky. We were on there the other day and Binky was saying that Danny Bath follows him. I think he might follow us as well. I don't know why, but Danny Bath, yeah, weird one. Danny Bath seems to follow all the Leeds accounts. Whether or not he's a Leeds fan, whether or not he was potentially on the way to Leeds at some point, I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, Danny Bath, that's a weird one. So yeah, Danny Bath potentially on his way to Stoke. He'd be a very Stoke signing, wouldn't he? I think Stoke are looking to bring in Sam Vokes as well. What do you guys think to that? Do you think that's a decent signing? I'm not 100% sure it is, but it sort of fits the Stoke mould, doesn't it? Vokes and fucking Danny Bath. Oof! What else have we got on here? So look at Derby as well. We've not looked at Derby yet. Who are Derby looking at? Lampard, Lawrence and Bogle are staying. And then Cole signs for Derby. Yeah, I mean, that's it really. So completed ins. Ashley Cole. George Thorne has gone as well. That's interesting. George Thorne, who was plagued by injury at Derby. Really good player, I thought, was George Thorne, but just plagued by injury. Good signing that for Luton as well, especially if he's fit. Derby don't seem to have done much business. I don't know about that. That's interesting with Derby because I do think they do need to do a little bit of business. I think they rely heavily on Harry Wilson. You saw that when they played us. I mean, we were completely dominant in that game. But I do think they're heavily reliant on him. Obviously, they made moves in the summer, with regard to Mount, Wackhorn, Harry Wilson. But I do think they need a little bit more defensively as well. I just think they're so poor. Tomori, he's deep. I do like Tomori. He's physical. Doesn't seem to have good games against Leeds. But Richard Keogh, if you're a Derby fan, let me know. Why is Richard Keogh still in your squad? Please. Donkey Keogh. Just let me know. Why is he still in the Derby squad and why is there not a replacement in for him? At least get a quality defensive midfielder in there as well who can screen him. Caitlin de Klerk, Jack Clark linked with Arsenal and Spurs. Don't worry, he's not going anywhere. Don't worry. Anyone here Leeds might want more after James gets completed? Don't know. As of yet. Leeds, Sheffield United, West Brom, Norwich, Derby, Villa. A lot of people thinking Leeds will win it. Like it. So who else have we got anyway? Championship. Who else are we looking at? So we will look at Norwich. See what they've done. Coming up at the weekend. West Brom make Murphy approach. Jacob Murphy. Right. Okay. That's as of today as well. So West Brom have then approached Newcastle asking to take Jacob Murphy on loan. I think it's in that category because obviously Murphy's a Norwich lad. So West Brom really looking to make some signings this window. I mean, this is what I mean. This is why it is pivotal we get James in. The reason being because teams around us are going to strengthen. It happens, We were talking about the Talking Shut podcast the other day of not many players coming into these rival clubs, but you sort of look at the ins and outs and there has been a fair few players who've gone to certain places just under the radar. West Brom as well, Mason Holgate, I think he's a cracking player. Sort of seamlessly transitioned into that Harvey Barnes role really well. They don't look like they're missing him either. But, they're still looking for an out-and-out winger. Jacob Murphy, Montero, they're looking at. Outgoings, Ben Marshall. Matt Jarvis. Jarvis has gone. Jesus, how is he still there? He's got a Walsall. Nelson Oliveira obviously gone to Reading. But yeah, that's interesting. So it looks like we're going to be keeping an eye on West Brom, potentially Jacob Murphy and Montero. Wow. I mean, that's the clout, isn't it? That's the clout of coming down from the top division, I guess. Yusuf Malumbu from Celtic is rumoured. I presume that's a defensive midfielder. to cover Kia, hopefully. Norwich City Central. Can we get a minute's applause for our girl Sophie as well as Toby? Leeds fans. Yeah. Leeds fans at the weekend as well. I think they've had a bit of... I'm not going to go into it. Norwich fans, if you're watching, I don't know what's happened with Sophie. Obviously, I know what's happened with Toby. Toby now, we did a feature on the channel. I presume there's not been some good news with Sophie. So yeah, if we can at the weekend, hopefully we can get like a minute's applause. That would be excellent. Coming together as two, Norwich and Leeds for Toby and Sophie. Foster CJ, are you covering the Bielsa presser on here as well? I might be able to cover a little bit of it, mate. Unfortunately, I do lead a life as well, so I won't be on all day for this. But yeah, I might cover it on my Instagram and my Snapchat as well. If you don't follow it, it's just all lowercase, Ramblings, ALTV. Yeah, I might cover it on that, to be honest. So make sure you go follow me on Snapchat and Instagram as well. Conor, do you think EFL may wait until the end of the season, see how many points Leeds are needed to put us into the playoffs? Yeah, so I just can't stand talking about them, mate, to be honest, especially what Mill scum have got away with. Guys, as well, once again, 197 of you watching, please smack that like button. I've been going on for how long now? 55 minutes and I'm still going. Conor, what's happening on Saturday regarding Toby Knight? David, I'm not 100% sure, mate. Hopefully... we have a minute's applause for him and Sophie from Norwich. That'd be excellent, and it's a real football doesn't matter when stuff like that happens. It's like Emiliano Sala for Cardiff. You know, football is a standstill, and that's where respect needs to come into the fore. So hopefully Leeds have got something sorted. Hopefully there's going to be a minute's applause before the game and maybe even during the game. Aaron Dixon, Swansea fans are 65 of you now liked it. 5 likes. Thank you, guys. Keep going on that one. Brilliant. Thanks, Andrew. Conor, what's just asked me that. Swansea fans are so salty at the news that James has asked to leave. Yeah, well, of course they're going to be. I mean, we've experienced it, guys, though, haven't we? I mean, it's horrible. We've experienced it for years when your prized assets get pinched from you, and it's nice for once for Leeds not to have to endure that. I think that's really nice for Leeds not to have that, because, you know, it's awful, and especially if they lose Leroy Fern, Montero and James, that would be absolutely awful. What about Matthias Bogus? Is this a genuine signing? It is, mate. Yeah, we've got him in. If you go on the Leeds United website, you'll be able to see that. A few days ago, I saw an Isco rumour. Do you remember when Torres was rumoured? Torres. Jesus Christ. So let's have a look at Sheffield United now as the next team. Wow. Right, okay. Wow. I don't know if you guys know this. It's once again slipped under the radar. Sheffield United striker Leon Clark has joined Wigan on loan till the end of the season. See, this is where evidently Sheffield United are sort of thinking to themselves there needs to be a little bit of difference, so they're going for those top 2 places, no doubt about it, and they're not far off. I don't think there's anything between us, Norwich and Sheffield United, quality-wise, or West Brom. I think it's just who's better on the day. I think previous seasons you've seen Brighton, Fulham in the latter half of last season, obviously Wolves, who've been the best teams in the division, or the standouts. I don't think there's that in the Championship this season. I think it's anybody's game. At the top 4, I don't think there's anything separating them. So this is where Sheffield United are clearly thinking to themselves, we'll get Clark out. Leon Clark, who you could say is sort of maybe, I think he's a top 10 Championship player. So it's a brilliant signing by Wigan. But, you know, they bring in someone like Scott Hogan, who prior going to Villa, I think he was a top scorer in the Championship. And Wilder's got a reputation of improving players. Clark, McGoldrick, Sharp, Norwood, John Fleck. He's got a proven record of improving players. So Hogan is that level up, isn't he? You've got Clark, who maybe a little bit there. Hogan's a top 6 striker in my opinion, especially if you get confident Scott Hogan as well. So that's a real coup, I think, for Sheffield United, and one that's gone under the radar. So that's on loan. Yeah, that's a real good signing, that, in my opinion. That's gone under the radar. I didn't know Clark had gone out, so yeah, there you go. So let's have a look, just anyway, let's have a look at Stoke. because they're one of the teams that have beaten us, and obviously they've got money bags, haven't they? So yeah, we've got Vokes to Stoke, Crouch set for Burnley. Bizarre, really bizarre. Does anyone else get that? But yeah, obviously they want the striker Vokes, don't they? So what else have we got on here? Swans still have Grimes. Yeah, I know. I mean, imagine that. Getting rid of James, Fur, and Montero, and having Grimes. He scored an own goal last night as well, which made me really happy. Where's his mum at? Sheffield United fan at my work told me Fleck could be on his way next. Yeah, there was a rumour about Fleck. I don't know where he's going, but there's a decent club who are after him. I think it could be a Prem club. I'm not 100% sure who it is, guys. So if you do know, let me know in the comments. But yeah, Fleck could be a big loss for him, definitely. I think he keeps things ticking over. Thought Coutts did it last season for him, but I think Fleck's definitely been the sort of the prized asset, really, hasn't he, there? Okay, so Swansea, so this is David Pritchard again, who, if you guys have been on from moment one, really, I mentioned that he'd called it with the loan. He was the first one. I've followed him for a couple of years now. Very good journalist, David Pritchard down in Wales. Swansea want to keep him, but they feel they can't now. James has told he wants to leave. If Leeds miss out on promotion, Swansea would take him back after his loan and try getting him to sign a new contract, but that looks unlikely. So at least that's a little bit of positive at the end there, because you kind of think to yourself, well, we'd have him, but then he'd be going back and signing for Swansea, so he's not really our player. But that apparently looks unlikely, so it looks like Leeds would be signing him in the summer, especially if he wants to leave. I mean, he ain't going to want to go back, is he? When he comes to Leeds, sees that crowd, sees the atmosphere, as a young lad, he is not going to want to trade that in to go back down there. I'm certain of it. Hammers in for Fleck, West Ham. Yeah, that's who it was, guys. You're right. What else have we done? Have you seen that Pamford? Pamford? I think, there you go. Pablo and Bamford. Pamford. It sounds like your local laundry woman, doesn't it? Pam Ford. Anyway, so yeah, Pam Ford, Pablo and Bamford have been in full training this week. Yeah, well, this is what we'll get, won't we, mate? In how long? In half an hour's time, when the press conference kicks in, we'll find out. I mean, last time I did a press conference, that Bielsa one, we got 33,000 views. So I don't think this one will be that popular, but you know, if I'm still online, then I will cover that, but I think it's pretty unlikely, guys. How long have I been on now? An hour and 2 minutes. There you go. Yeah, so I have seen that the back in full trend. I mean, those two. I mean, this weekend we have to have. I mean, I'll go into it on more depth with my preview. But yeah, having those two within the squad is massive. We have to have Pablo in there. But you know, Bamford would be a brilliant addition, especially this weekend if he's fully fit. 1:15 the press conference, it is, mate. Yeah, incomings also give a great boost to existing players at the club. Yeah, it does. Guys, as well, if you're expecting to hear news after news after news, then bear in mind that Leeds are just after the one player at the minute. So yeah, I'm just trying to go on what I'm reading at the minute, what I'm hearing. If I hear anything, I will let you know. So let's have a look. So Burnley have had a second bid turned down by Birmingham City for striker Shay Adams. That's interesting. Obviously, Arsenal have signed Denis Suarez. Don't know what you think to that, guys. Yeah. Sometimes I talk about other clubs on this channel. I've got quite decent knowledge of other clubs because I'm a bit anal with stuff like that, but not really sure Denis Suarez is what Arsenal need. Don't know what you guys think on that. Okay, Nico Yanaris has made his move from Brentford to Beijing Guan. Yanaris, I always rated him for Brentford. It just shows the amount of turnover that in the scouting system at Brentford is superb. They do sort of a structural database thing similar to Football Manager. They have the spreadsheets up at the start of the season. They bring players like Mope, Ben Rama, Woods from previous season, obviously Ollie Watkins, the scumbag. Players like that who are under the radar, and then they sell them for double, triple, quadruple. So yeah, I can't imagine he's gone for cheap. See if there's anything on Twitter, anything going on. Oh, this is a different one. So Leeds fans worried about losing Kemar Roofe can relax. He's told me he's going nowhere. Newcastle, Palace, Southampton, Wolves, and even Turkish giants Galatasaray. I can't say it. Galascum have been linked. He said, "I'm going nowhere. I want to help the club get to the Prem." Kemar, come on, get in there. Brilliant. I mean, to be honest, guys, I didn't even... Newcastle. Why Newcastle in for? Why are they interested? Got rid of Mitrovic. Got Rondon in. You've got Dwight Gale on the books. Well, I don't get it. I don't get that. You guys might disagree. I do not think he's on their level. I don't. I really don't think that's... he's on... I don't know what you guys think, but I don't think... Would you say Roofe's on Dwight Gale's level? I think Dwight Gale's a real natural finisher. I think he needs one chance and he scores it. Not 100% sure Roofe does that. I think he needs a couple of chances. His consistency is an issue. Yeah, which has just been pointed out by I'm Fat 1 NRL. Yeah, I don't think he's on their level, to be honest. I really don't. You talk about your Bonatinis, your Bamfords, which is mad because he's had such an incredible season, Roofe. But I just don't think... I think he has to really work hard to score goals, which is what we love about Roofe. I mean, that's what we love at Ellen Road, players putting in efforts. I just don't know if... Imagine, I mean, this is just highlighted it for me. Imagine Gale in this side. It's interesting. It's interesting what he said. So Jim Mitchell, Dwight Gale ain't as good as Roofe. I'd have to disagree, mate. I think you look at his seasons in the Championship. Every time in Newcastle a couple of seasons ago, he's had numerous seasons in the Championship, always 25 goals and above. So that can't be frowned at. I mean, the guy is unbelievable, and he'll hit that milestone again this season. He always does it. So, yeah. So, Doran Tor, Roofe is a younger Graben. So I've just seen a comment above that. Roofe is just a younger Graben. He can't be that much younger. Is he that much younger? Let's have a look. Roofe, age 26. How old's Graben? Yeah, you're right. It's 5 years in it. There you go. Yeah, once again, I think Graben's more of a natural finisher, mate. I genuinely do. I think Graben's more of a natural finisher. It's just, Roofe's only been playing centre forward for Leeds for one season now, thoroughly. So you can't really have a slant on him, and he's done excellently. I just think he's not a natural striker. So yeah, what have we got? Ben, could have made your bed, lad. I have, mate. That is a made bed. Gale massively helped Newcastle back to the Prem. He did indeed. Nico just said James is in Leeds. Interesting. Jordan Carter, Nottingham Forest game. Roofe had a few chances to put the game to bed. Needs to be more clinical. However, he's exceeding the expectations set by his fans. Yeah, Jordan's spot on there. I think that's pretty much it. He's not a natural striker, but he works hard. He gets the job done. But you look at maybe a Bamford. I always think to myself, I wonder how Bamford would have done in this squad. I say squad, this starting 11. And because, 9 goals in 12 for the back end of that Borough season, he comes into a Leeds squad. Imagine him fully fit, starting week in, week out. I wonder how many goals he'd have got, with the likes of Saiz at the start of the season, Cleek, Pablo's serving him on a plate, really. I wonder how many goals he'd have got. I think he's a natural finisher, is Bamford. So it'd been interesting. But, people talking about Graben, been up there. I think Bamford's up there. So when we get him back, Andrew Dixon, my wife told me Kima to score more goals, and he has, yeah. Adam Chadwick, agree that Roof takes more chances to finish. For example, he should have got at least a header on target the weekend. Still love him though. Yeah, exactly. I just think you look at that game at the weekend, and it was a difficult chance, but I just feel, you're getting the likes of maybe a Gale, maybe even a Bamford just chesting that one down and smashing it in the bottom corner. But it's just opinions, isn't it? Izzy Brown will be unreal for a second half of the season. Let's hope so. Let's have a look, see if there's any more news. Also, quite funnily, I've just seen something retweeted, and it's Daniel James, 13th of November 2018. Our little greyhound wins October's Player of the Month with a whopping 76% of the vote. I mean, he's going to be a right signing. He is a right signing. You look at some of his highlights. I'm just watching him now. He's so direct, so quick. But yeah, I mean, he's a right player. It's depressing seeing that he was born in 1997. I don't know if any of you guys. He's 21 now. That innit? I mean, I'm 25. Christ, depressing. Sure, some of you guys will be laughing at me saying I'm 25 because, some of you are a little bit older than that, and I'm whinging about being 25. So yeah, what else have we got? Let's type the lad's name in on Twitter, see what we get. And as I said, guys, on this as well, I get some decent sources as well, and never obviously name names, but I've just been told that a deal is agreed with James, which we already sort of knew, but it's a loan. So yeah, it's logged on to Twitter, and apparently a deal is agreed. So positives there. So yeah, apparently a deal is agreed for Daniel James. So there you go, guys. I think that is pretty much just on the hush hush now. So we'll have to wait and see. What else have we got? Yeah, so there you go. So what do you guys think of it? What do you guys think of that? So it's evidently going to happen, isn't it? It is evidently going to happen, which is excellent news. And I think that is sort of a done deal, I think, isn't it? From what I've just been told anyway. It's deal done. It looks like a loan deal. So there you go. That's don't say I didn't tell you guys, but yeah, there you go. So I think it's deal agreed, and it's sort of an initial loan. So yeah, we'll have to see, won't we? We'll have to see if that's going to come to the fore. Believe it is. Any more news going on at the minute? So yeah, I think, guys, I'm going to log off in a bit, I think. Just on the premise that I think we've got all the knowledge at the minute. So yeah. So what we're going to be doing anyway, guys, is Oscar is going to be joining you next, and I think Oscar's looking to get in at about 4, potentially 4:30. I do have a life to lead, so I do need to get off. It explains the gear as well that I've got on. But yeah, so if you wouldn't mind liking it, guys, that would be excellent once again, if you wouldn't mind liking the video. And we've got your transfer updates done throughout the day. So Oscar joins you, I think he's doing it at around 4 or 5. So he'll cover the press conference, etc., etc. If you want to follow me, Ramblings ALTV on Snapchat and Instagram, I'll be covering the press conference as well. I'll probably do it on my way. I'm off to Harrogate now, so I'll do it on my way there. Hope you guys have a cracking day, and yeah, I guess that's going to be covered by Oscar, the signing, the details of the signing, but it looks like that deal is agreed. So positive. At the start of this stream, we didn't know what was going on, and how long later have we got? We've got potentially so an hour and 15 ago. We didn't know what was going on, and now it looks like a deal is agreed for James. We know now as well that it's probably going to be a loan signing. So I hope you guys are all right. Make sure you stay tuned. So Joe's got you at 9 till 11 as well. So he's got the back end of the window. So he'll be finalising everything. I've got a sneaky suspicion Oscar's going to get the juicy part from 5 till 7. Because I think Leeds will have everything done and dusted by then. Hope you have a fantastic day. This got to 210 of you watching this at one point, which was absolutely excellent because, you know, I know you're all at work and you've all got busy lives. So hope you all have a cracking day. Make sure you check into Oscars, as I've said, at 4 or 5. Make sure you like this video if you would, guys. And I'll catch you in a bit.